1968 AD, 5862 AM. In this year, the number of US troops in Vietnam reached 486,000, and on January 31st, the Viet Cong conducted the Tet Offensive, New Year, throughout Vietnam, killing Americans and South Vietnamese. On April 4th, civil rights black leader Martin Luther King is assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, triggering racial riots in many US cities. King was killed by James Earl Ray. On June 5th, Robert Kennedy was assassinated in Los Angeles after winning the California primary election. Another world-famous man dies, Yuri Gagarin, the first Russian cosmonaut in space, first human in space, dying in a plane crash. The CIA initiated Project Phoenix in Southeast Asia, torturing thousands of Vietnamese prisoners and civilians for intelligence, resulting in the death of tens of thousands, a program enduring until 1972. In Iraq, the CIA secretly supported and aided the Ba'ath Party, installing Saddam Hussein as dictator. The United States detonates Boxcar underneath the Nevada desert, a 1.3 megaton nuclear weapon. Astronauts aboard Apollo 8 complete the first manned flight around the moon, and they took a picture of the Earth from space beyond the moon while reading the first 11 verses of the Book of Genesis. A fossil hunter named William Webster Jr. at Antelope Springs, Utah, discovered a human footprint fossilized in stone, stepping on a trilobite, 65 million-year-old life form. The footprint was sandaled, the strata dating to the Cambrian period. On September 4th, a triangular-shaped UFO appeared over Madrid, Spain, and was seen by thousands of people, many of them taking pictures of the object. It was described by onlookers as pyramid-shaped. France explodes its first hydrogen bomb in the Pacific. 1. March of the Titans. 2. 20th century events. 3. Alice in Wonderland and the World Trade Center disaster. 5. Crop circles, gods and their secrets. 6. Evolution cruncher. 7. Invisible resonance, X1X. The cosmic pulse of life. 1969 AD, 5863 AM. Soviet troops crossed the border into Xinjiang, China. The US agrees to destroy all of its germ warfare stock, but it is highly doubtful the military did so. On July 20th, the Apollo spacecraft landed on the moon, televised around the world. Video shows Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin on the lunar surface, and over 70% of the worldwide population doubted the authenticity of the Apollo missions. Many scientists and researchers have published meticulous material demonstrating the fallacies and impossibilities of the moonwalk, as was conveyed by NASA, believing the moon landing and acts of the astronauts were a fiction perpetuated by NASA to cover the real and highly secret space program, as Americans watched a doctored film that appeared authentic in 1969 to boost American morale in an atmosphere of superior Soviet space achievements in all categories. There are many, and for good reason, who believe that the secret space program had already been to the moon prior to the 1969 televised fiction. In 1969, the Boeing 747 jumbo jet makes its maiden flight, and from Toulouse, France, the Concorde made its maiden flight. About 400,000 people assembled at Woodstock in New York in celebration of free love and rock and roll. On August 9th, Charles Manson influences his followers to kill actress Sharon Tate and 4 others. 1. 20th century events. 2. Dark Moon. 1970 AD, 5864 AM. An Israeli air raid on Cairo, Egypt, killed 70 civilians. The Syrians and Israelis engaged in a battle in April. Comet Bennett appears brightly in April. In May, a quake in Peru buried alive and killed 25,000 people, but burning, anarchy and disease afterward killed altogether 66,000. A violent cyclone struck Bangladesh, India, killing 300,000 people. Palestinians hijacked 4 passenger aircraft and negotiate the release of Palestinian prisoners held in Israel, Switzerland, West Germany and Britain. The Boeing 747 jumbo jet enters commercial transatlantic service. China launches its first satellite. The American Apollo 13 mission departed Earth at 1:13 p.m. or 1313 hours. On the 13th day of the month, the mission was aborted due to the rupture of an oxygen tank. The crew escaped in a lunar capsule and splashdown was at 12:13 EST. A meteorite fell to Earth called the Murchison meteorite, studied by the Ames Research Center of NASA and the scientists of 2 universities. It was determined to have contained within it definite traces of amino acids. 1. 20th century events. 2. Foundations of astronomy. 4. Mankind, child of the stars.